Let's say that your server environment goes down. Now what? Let's say that you get ransomware. Obviously, you want to do everything you can to prevent it. But let's say something still does happen. It can shut down all locations, not just your primary.
Sure.
So having a plan is so important.
All right, welcome back. Another episode of Logical Technologies. Joel, Ryan. Today, we're going to talk about disaster recovery plans. So, Joel, what is it?
So really, disaster recovery plan is just planning for when something does not go according to plan.
Okay.
So if something does go wrong, but you have a plan for it, something that could be a huge disruption to a business actually becomes a blip on the radar because you have a plan, you're testing it, you know what you're going to do.
Yeah. So
you just execute on that plan and move forward.
So so much of our business is run in cyberspace. We depend so heavily on internet connection, connectivity, high speeds, things like that, because we want everything right now. You're saying that in the event that we lose connection, we lose internet, if we're not prepared, that's going to be a huge issue.
Yeah.
It could be payroll day, it could be whatever, but with preparation, with being with a good plan, it could just be something you have to navigate around for that day.
Yeah, I mean, an important part is just looking at every aspect of a business and how technology impacts that business. So if you have a manufacturing business and every manufacturing line depends on a piece of technology, it's probably going to be pretty important to have some kind of a plan in place or plan B in place if something does happen with your primary system. If it's a retail store, it relies on internet. Yeah. You can't process payments. You're basically shut down if you don't have internet.
Sure.
So if you acknowledge that and you understand, okay, how long can I be down without internet? And simply put, how long can I be down without internet? Now you can start building that plan. So you might build a plan that says, oh, hey, if I'm down without internet, I'm going to by default switch to my hotspot on my phone. If you have one device, it's easy, right? Yeah. You switch to your hotspot on your phone, that's standard practice, or you have a little hotspot device.
Right.
That can be a very, very basic disaster recovery plan for an internet failure.
Right.
Now, if you have 20 devices, point of sale devices in a retail branch of your business, it's probably more important. Now you want to look at, okay, how long can my internet be down? It's probably not going to be feasible to have that backup internet, have that hotspot be your backup. Now you might want to look at some other plans of what you're going to do, or when you just shut down for the day. That should almost never be the case, unless budget just does not allow to have a secondary internet connection or redundancies like that in place.
Right. And secondary internet connections, that doesn't mean that that might be a cellular option.
Exactly.
That could be a mobile hotspot like you mentioned, but there are alternatives to help provide that.
Yeah, and that's really just scratching the surface on internet. Really where disaster recovery planning comes into place is, let's say that your server environment goes down. Now what? Let's say that you get ransomware. Obviously, you want to do everything you can to prevent it, but let's say something still does happen, or your headquarters burns off. Again, never want to have it happen.
Right.
But if you have 5 locations and there is a fire, even if it's contained, or there's a major storm, anything like that, it can shut down all locations, not just your primary. So having a plan is so important.
So what would be the first step that I would need to take, or how do I implement a plan?
That in itself can be a deeper conversation, but to start with, you need to identify how technology is impacting your business. Figure out what technology you have, right? How it impacts your business, and then you need to determine what is acceptable downtime for each of those areas. Once you have those, now you need to see basically build a plan with what you have for right now. And if you see that your plan isn't meeting those acceptable downtimes, really two phrases that get used a lot, and I don't like buzzwords, but RPOs and RTOs. So RPO is a return or a recovery point objective, which means how much, if you were to lose data, how much data can you lose? Can you lose an hour's data? Can you lose a day's worth of data? RTO is recovery time objective. How long can I be down before I need to have something else going? So for some systems, even for one server, it might be a week. Another server, it might be 30 minutes. So you have to define that, check where you're at, And now you continue to build out those plans of, okay, what are the likely scenarios I'll encounter, and how am I going to react to that?
Sure. And so I guess what I'm hearing from you is I don't need to get caught on identifying things is really positive, is hugely important to this, but starting with something is better than not starting anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Understand what you have right now. Get to the point to where you understand what you have, how it impacts it, what your current plan would be, and then figure out where you want to be. That's going to show you the gap, and then you can start strategically going towards your ideal goals of what downtime could look like.
Yeah, awesome. Anything else that you can think of in that?
I mean, this is a topic we could dive really deep in. So from a high level, not really, but if anybody has other questions that are more focused towards a certain area or whatever, by all means, hit that QA at logivisiontech.com. And we'll dive a lot deeper. But just kind of as a 100-mile view, I think we've kind of hit most of the areas.
Awesome. Thanks, Joel, for your knowledge and your time. Again, QA at logivisiontech.com. That's where you can email us your questions. It would be interesting to hear what other people have and how they got started developing their own plans. So thanks again for tuning in. Logical Technology, Ryan, Joel, have a great week, everyone.